In this video, I'm going to be giving you the full breakdown on how to use Premiere Pro. So if you are just getting started on Premiere Pro or you want to learn some new tricks, keep watching. This first part of the video, I'm going to be showing you how to set your project up for success. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is organize all the assets that you're going to be using to edit your videos. Now, since I'm actually editing one of my own YouTube videos today, all of my files are already organized inside of my assets hard drive, but some common folders that you may want to add into your project files or your video editor is you want to add a folder for footage, you want to add a folder for, oops, you want to add a folder for B-roll, and you're also going to want to add a folder for music. So when you click on this bin and then, you start dragging in your assets, they can all be organized and you can know where to find them. All right, so now I'm going to bring in my footage. Here are the 3 videos that I have to edit. The next thing you're going to want to do is make sure you have the right video settings for the video that you're actually trying to edit. So actually, if you drag the video on here, it's going to automatically create a new sequence. But let's say you wanted to create a square video or you wanted to create an Instagram reel, then you would go up to sequence, you would go to sequence settings, and you would basically change it. So for Instagram reels, it's 1080 by 1920. And then it switches it. And then you would basically just have to go to effects and scale the video up. And make sure you're sort of like in the, my gosh, my face. Make sure you're in the frame for the reel. And then another sequence is, and then another common setting that people use for videos when they edit, and this usually goes like on Facebook or LinkedIn and sometimes Twitter, is 1080 by 1080, and that is the square. So again, you would just have to like size it back down and then make sure it is the correct video size. The last thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you're always saving your video file every so often. So there are a few different ways you can do that. You can press Control or Command S and it automatically save it, or you can go up to File and just press Save and it'll save the progress that you're at. The worst thing that can happen is you're spending all this time editing videos and then, it just completely crashes and then you have to start all over again. Honestly, that would be my worst nightmare. But yeah, a couple keyboard shortcuts that will be helpful to you when you're editing is Command or Control S, that means save, Control or Command Z, that means undo, and then Control or Command C is copy, and Control or Command V is paste. And when I say Control, that is usually for Windows computers, and when I say Command, that is usually for Apple computers. Now, in this part of the video, I'm going to be talking about the basics of actually like cutting and trimming your videos in the least amount of time possible. So now I'm going to do a quick overview of the interface. This is the area where you're going to see the video that you're editing. This area down here, this is the area where you're actually going to be trimming, editing, basically doing anything to your video. So the top line up here on this top half up, this is the video part. Bottom half down here, this is where the audio usually is. If you go over here to this box over here, these are a bunch of resources that you can use to do different things to your video. So we have the effects control right here. This is where you're going to be able to move your video left and right, up or down. You're going to be able to scale it. You're going to be able to rotate it. This is also usually where I have my text panel at. You know, not everybody may not have this panel, but if you don't have this panel, I'm going to show you how to get it later. And then over here on this side, this is where you'll find other essential things that you're going to need to edit. So like your essential graphics. This is how you're going to edit your audio, how you're going to color correct. And once again, you can like add other things over there too to help you edit. All right, so now the basics of editing, right? How exactly do you trim down your video? So there is the normal way where you can just sort of like listen to your video and then edit it that way. The record button. So sort of that way where you can like look through the video and you can use this razor tool right here. And you can cut the video that way and then use the select tool and delete it. But honestly, I haven't used that way in so long because it takes so freaking long. So if you did not know this, Premiere Pro recently, I believe in either 2022 or 2023, they recently added the new feature where you'll be able to edit your video by text. So if you ever use the script, it's something like that. You basically edit it like it's a Word document. So you just basically have to go to text. And if you don't see the text window over here, you can go up to window and then you can just select the text option over here and then it should show up over here. So again, how we're going to edit this super fast, right? So if you see these three little dots right here, you can these are actually like spaces where you are not talking. So you can just click that and then delete it and it automatically edits the video for you. It usually is a very like precise cut. You know, you won't hear, it won't cut it off like in the middle of you talking or anything like that. Usually, I want to say 99% of the time it works. So I know that in this video, I was actually recording another video for my membership program. So I know that this part of the video, I was talking to them. So I can delete it just by highlighting it and pressing the delete button. I can delete the video. So let's see. So I am starting a second series here on YouTube on top of the normal videos that I usually do. See, that is me looking at my script. Again, I can press these three little dots inside of these brackets. It says it's 6 seconds and I can delete it. That I call the Creator Transparency Series. All right, we see these three little dots again. I can delete it. And this series is basically going to be all about being a creator. All right, so I said being twice, so I can delete that word. And it just automatically just like clips your video for you. I find this the most fast and effective way to edit videos. My videos are usually like under 15 minutes, so I can usually get this done in 30 minutes, but if it's your first time, it may take you up to an hour. Okay, so without me sitting here and chopping this up for a whole 30 minutes, I am now going to show you how to color correct your video. So if it's a little too bright or if it's a little too dark for your liking, you can actually fix that, right? So if you go over here, you'll find the color correcting tools, right? And usually if you're doing videos like this, it doesn't really need that much editing unless your lighting is like super bright or super dark. So you can play around with things like the exposure, the contrast of the video, highlights, white, and there's not really much room for me to color correct this video because it's a lot of white. Let's see, can I make it? So yeah, I can make the blacks darker in the video. I feel like that makes a difference. Here's me comparing the two videos. So it's that one. And if you look at this video and you look at this one, you notice my hair is like just a tad bit darker. This is how you color correct your video. Now there's also other things over here, like you can auto correct it and it'll automatically do some things to your video, or it'll automatically correct the coloring. And I actually like that. I thought that was great. That was great color correction. So you can automatically correct it or you can manually do it yourself. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to add transitions to your videos. So honestly, I feel like this window may be anywhere on your editing dashboard. It may be over here or it may be over here. Like this area where the essential graphics are, for if you didn't see what I just did, or over here in here. So usually when I press these two arrows out, I can find the effects panel, but if you don't see it, you can always go to window and then you can press effects and you can put it wherever you want to. So there are all types of video transitions and audio transitions. So a common transition that you might want to use is like a fade. So if you want to do that, it's actually called like dip to black. So you can put that in the video and now it comes in after a fade. Another one you may want to do is you may want to sort of like use a zoom transition to where something, your video can zoom in. So I am starting, or maybe you even want to use a like some type of like wipe transition. So whatever transition you want to use, it'll be in this panel. So I am and you'll be able to add those transitions on your videos. You'll be able to add them on whatever graphics you have. And yeah, they also have like audio transitions. So you can do different things with your audio to make it go up or down. In this part of the video, I'm going to be talking about 3 tips and tricks to get you the best audio in Premiere Pro. So the first thing that we're going to go over is actually audio leveling and balancing and basically turning the volume up and down, right? And so here's our video, and there's a few different ways we can basically like, you know, make the audio go up and down for your video. So you could either make this bigger, and this line right here, it shows you how loud your video actually is. So if you go down, well, let me show you how it sounds now. So I am starting a second series. Okay, so if you go down, then that turns the volume down. And if you go up, that's how you turn it up. Now, another way you can do this is you can go over here to dialogue, and they have like different presets that you can use to make your audio sound different. So you can say it's from outside of a building. If you're outside of there, you can turn it over to a podcast voice. And if you're like outside and there's like a lot of wind, you can even clean up the noisy dialogue. So there's not really much noise in this video right here, but using the clean up noisy dialogue, it won't clean up like all the noise in the background, but it'll get a good amount of it out to where, you know, it doesn't sound as bad. I've used this a few times to clean up my audio. Another way to turn your volume up and down from when you're talking is to go down here to clip volume. This also turns the sound up and down. And as you can see right here, you can also mute it. Now, if we add music and we don't want our audio of our talking to be louder than our music, what we can do is basically do the same thing. You would turn your music down and you would turn your talking audio up. So let's see. So I am starting so that's way too loud, right? So I kind of already talk pretty low in this video. So again, you come back down here and turn it down even more. So I am starting a second. And basically play with this until you're satisfied with how it sounds. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is actually synchronize your audio inside of Premiere Pro. Now, this works great for if you have like two camera angles and you're trying to figure out, you know, how to synchronize them together without doing the tedious work on your timeline. A good tip for that is if you're going to do it that way, make sure you have like a very distinct sound that the audio synchronizer will be able to tell it by. So clapping like 2 or 3 times before you actually start talking, saying like, okay, we're getting ready. That is a great way to start the video off. Otherwise, it's just going to be really hard for you to do it. Now, I don't have 2 videos with me today, but I took this clip out of this area over here. So we're going to put this right here. So now, right now, it's basically out of order, right? Is basically and this series is basically all about going to be. All right, so what you're going to want to do to synchronize the audio is you're going to want to put your playhead above both of the videos that you're trying to synchronize and both of the audios that you're trying to synchronize. And the last thing that I want to show you how to do is fade the audio in and then out. So if you want to fade your audio in, so I like to do this with music or at the beginning of my videos, you can go over to effect controls. And then right here when it says audio, you can turn on this keyframe, move over just like a few and add another keyframe. And then with this keyframe, you put it all the way down. And basically you putting it all the way down puts this keyframe's level down to 0. And then as the video progresses, you see it slightly go up, and that is how you fade into the video. I am starting a second series. Now I'm going to be showing you how to create graphics inside of Premiere Pro. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is show you guys how to use the Essentials graphics panel. And I'm actually going to have to turn my camera off for this because it's in the way. So this right here is the Essential Graphics panel. So to get here, all you have to do is press these 2 arrows over here and then press Essential Graphics. And they already have like quite a few graphics that you can put inside of your video. Now, a lot of them are like pre-made custom templates that they have, but some of the graphics that they have in here that I really like to use is like the title one that's right here. You could use that. And to change the title, you would just have to go inside of here and edit it out. And then another thing that they have, and we're in the browse area, by the way, we're in the browse. And another thing that they have over here is, you know, more titles and name call out cards. So again, you can go in here and change your name. And then you can also change the fonts. It actually just did that automatically for me, but you could change the font, and you can also change the colors of the things inside of the Essential Graphics bar. So that's one way you can add graphics inside of your video. You can go into the browse features and then you can sort of see what they already have and add them. They also have Adobe stock. And if you go over here to the free one, you can sort of look through other things that they might have in Adobe. that you'll be able to sort of like drag from over there to over here. So let's see. Let's see, these social media elements. So I am starting a. Now this is super random. If you wanted to change what was here, you can go to like oval, or you can go to triangle, arrow. You could change the color of it. So yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do inside of the Essentials graphics panel, and you can also go on other websites and you can download something called a Mogart. It's spelled MOGRT. If you go on like Envanto Element or other websites like that, that usually gives you templates. You can also find like custom ones, so you don't have to create it yourself. Now, if you wanted to create like a name call out card yourself, you could basically create it over here. So you would go to new layer, and for example, you could choose a rectangle. We're going to make this one blue for this example. And you could basically like make it bigger and smaller. And then if you wanted to, you could add a new layer with text, a text layer down there, and then again, putting your name. So you could actually create your own as well. And then possibly even go to effects and then do like a wipe effect. So I am starting a. So yeah, then it does it by itself. Next thing that I'm going to show you how to do is actually create a video bar. And this basically lets your viewer know how long is actually left inside of the video. I actually don't see these as much as I used to see them on social media, but I love those and I think they're really cool things to add inside the video. So you would basically add a color mat and put it to whatever color you would want it to be. I'm just going to choose black. You would create your color mat and then put it on here. And then you could go to effects and crop. Put the crop effect on top of the video and basically put it all the way down. And now that we have it all the way down, we see the full bar. We're going to want to basically drag it out all the way into the end. And then we're going to want to go to the right. And well, first we're going to want to go all the way to the end. All the way into the end. And then put a keyframe right there. And then go all the way to the front of the video. And we're going to make the bar go all the way over here. So now when the video plays, you'll see it slowly but surely move over a little bit all the way until the video is done. So I am starting a second series. So as you see, the video is playing. I was definitely at a crossroads in like my freelancing career. And again, you see it just go slightly more over, and it'll do that all the way. until the end of the video. The next thing that I want to show you how to do is sort of create a title slide or create a background for your videos. I remember when I first got on Premiere Pro, I'm like, okay, how do you make your background a different color? That was like one of my big things. But, you know, I figured out how to do it. And you just go to your project files, and then again, you can just create your color mat, and you can make your background like any color that you want it to be. And then you'll have a different background for your video. Now you can put this under the video or over the video, but I just remember when I first started editing, that was a big thing for me. I'm like, okay, how do I do this? And the last thing that I want to show you how to do is to animate a photo or basically any graphic that you put inside of Premiere Pro, because it all uses the same process. So this is my photo that I have, and this is just a random photo that I just found in my hard drive. This is not me, it's just a stock photo. And the way you can animate this photo is you can either go inside of the transitions and make it zoom in, or, you know, any of that good stuff. But you could also put keyframes on the photo. So I just put the scale keyframe on it, and you can sort of like make it scale in. And you can do this to any photo. So I am starting so as you can see, it sort of just like slowly but surely comes out at you. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to head over to the text bar on your video editor. And if you don't see this text bar, then you can go to window and add it and just press text, and it'll, you know, pop up over there. Now I've already been editing this video, and this is also how you edit your video, and I showed you how to do that in a different video. But how you create captions is you're basically going to want to go from the transcript section of the text to the captions feature, and you're going to want to create captions from the transcript. Now, preferably, you should probably do this after you edit your video, so you don't have like the wrong captions for your video when you actually decide to edit it down. But once you get here and you go to create captions, this window will pop up, and then you get to choose your caption preset. I usually just choose subtitle default, and then you select the format. Again, I usually just press subtitle. Style, there is none. Maximum length in characters, you actually want to put this down. Well, I like to put it around 21. I think that's a good number in between, but you know, how many characters you actually want inside of the caption, that's totally up to you. The minimum duration is seconds. I honestly usually keep that at 3. And then gap between the caption frames, I usually keep that at 0. Now again, single, double lines, this is entirely up to you. For this video, I'm just gonna press single though. And then we're gonna let it go, and it's gonna create all the captions. All right, now, if you look up here, this is where you'll actually see the captions. So if you're gonna edit all of them at the same time, which I usually do, you can just go over there and then basically put your mouse over it and drag the mouse over, and then you'll basically highlight all the ones that you need. And since you can't really see this thing over here, I'm going to turn my camera off now. And then you're going to go to Essential Graphics. And this is where you're able to sort of like edit how your captions look. So if you're looking for like the sort of like Alex Hermonzi look, I believe he used a Montserrat font. And he usually uses the bold Montserrat font. And if I am saying that wrong, I really do apologize. And, so after that, you can make the captions bigger. You can bold them. You can choose where you're going to put your captions at. If you don't like that, then you can sort of move them over or move them up and down from this area over here. You can change the color of your captions right here. I'm just choosing like a random color here. So yeah, you can do that. You can sort of choose how much of a shadow you actually want your captions to have. You can choose the opacity, or basically how light the shadow is. And that actually changed every single last one of them. So I am starting a second series here on YouTube on top of the normal videos that I usually do that I call the Creator Transparency Series. And this series is basically going to be all about being a creator and getting paid online. So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty accurate. I mean, sometimes they'll sometimes you'll have to go in there and actually fix it. And if you do have to go in there and fix it, you can just literally click on it and you can change it from there. Or if you need to add a word or something like that. But it's usually accurate. I remember when Premiere Pro did not have this feature when I was in college, and you basically had to go to a different site, transcribe the video, and then bring it inside of here, and it would sort of sync it up some type of way. I don't know. It was a lot, but this is way easier, and I'm very happy that they do have it on here now. All right. Last thing I'm going to show you is how to animate your captions if that's something that you want to do. So basically, again, you make sure you select all of them, and then you go to graphics and titles, and then you can say upgrade caption to graphic. That way it turns your captions into graphics, and now you're able to sort of put effects on them and stuff like that. So you can do this a few different ways. So you can either go to the actual effect bar and you can go to, what is it, video transitions, and you can sort of choose which effects you want to go on your caption. So let's see. So I am starting. So yeah, you can put the different effects on the captions. A second series here on YouTube on top of the normal video. Yeah, you could just basically do that to as many of them as you want, as many times as you want it to. Those that I usually do. So I am starting a second series here on YouTube on top of the normal videos that I usually do that I call the Creator Transparency Series. See, all types of different effects. And another way that you'll be able to sort of animate your captions is you can click on the animated captions, and then you can go to effects, controls, and this is another way you can actually add keyframes into your captions to make them do kind of whatever you want them to do. So let's say you kind of wanted to zoom this on your own. Then you would go to scale and you would put the keyframe right there. Wait. So you would go to scale and you would press the keyframe right there and go all the way down. And then sort of go to the end of the caption and go all the way up.
called the Creator Transparency Series. And this series,
and you can do that for the other things as well. So let's say you wanted to sort of like make it go over there. Again, you can change the position. So this is the position now. And then by the end of it, you can put another keyframe down and again, make it go off screen.
and this series is basically...
So if you've made it to the end of the video here, thank you for watching. I wanted to add that I am a video editor, so if you need help editing your YouTube content, click the link down below to book a call.